Merry Sickmas! I mean, Merry Christmas, everybody! Yeah, I'm sick. And we're
So, so Jova, instead of Metal Gear Solid 2, we're doing this, I guess.
Basically, folks, you remember our Halloween commentaries and how we usually work our way up to Halloween. Well, now we decided to do something a little different for Christmas. As you may recall, last year we did a commentary on Batman Noel, a comic that was well enough enjoyed, but of course, because of time constraints, we had a bit of trouble getting it in time for the Christmas release and whatnot. So this time, we're gonna have 5 movie commentaries based around Christmas, starting on Christmas. We give to you the first ever Squirm's 5 Days of Christmas commentaries, with the first pick by Shiroi. Shiroi, why don't you open up the first present for fans?
Yes, Jova's unwell and I'm making him watch this garbage fire.
What a great present!
We couldn't fit the other 7 days, unfortunately, so we had to make do with 5.
So, what is this, Shiroi?
This is one of Good Time's original movies. Like, the Disney ripoff people actually made some original movies. These weren't any good, and this is one that I grew up with in particular. It's one I actually watched more than once.
That's the thing. That's the thing, Shira. For the more I watch of these people, the more I'm convinced that Little Red Riding Hood was a fluke.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just stole someone else's movie and put their name on it again.
Oh yeah, that's right. Bit of a disclaimer for folks. While this is technically not the first Good Times commentary we've ever done, this will likely be the first one that gets released. So don't be surprised if there's a bit of an anachronistic stew here and there.
Although, again, this is the first time we're looking at an original movie of theirs, so...
Well, there was Red Riding Hood.
Well, I mean, that's not an original story.
Yeah.
Oh! You mean this isn't based off of Frosty the Snowman?
No, this isn't based off of any other company movie.
Basically, Jova, this
trying to make their own Christmas movie.
This is kind of like when the Asylum stopped doing ripoffs and started doing Sharknado movies.
And Cargo.
And Titanic 2.
Oh, thank God this isn't based off the Snowman. I can't bear to hear we're walking in the air butchered by horrible synth.
But anyway, where should we start, Shiroi?
I believe this...
I recommend starting right after the Good Times logo, and because in the black screen right before the actual short starts, because, well, there might be differences between whether you watch this on VHS or on DVD. So basically, everybody, just in case you have a different copy than us, start right at the beginning when you should be seeing a green book. For us, it's the 14 second mark. So yeah, start there, and you should be in Synchrofize because that's literally the beginning of the movie, so you should be.
Okay then.
Alright, take us away, Shiroi.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, click.
So since this doesn't have the classic intro, I guess this means that this isn't part of the Good Times cinematic universe. I'm not kidding to you. Almost every other one starts with that intro as if they're a combined universe.
What did they do to you?
Are we sure this is? Are we sure this isn't? Are we sure this isn't Frosty the Snowman's unemployed brother?
No, guys, I got it. This is the Snowman from. I got it, guys. This is the Snowman from after the Iron Brew advert.
I'm sorry. This is like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah, my right here is lonely right now. Like seriously, seriously, this is mono. Come on, guys, this was made in 1995.
Oh my god! Yeah, I thought there was something wrong with my headset there.
No, it's really the video itself. It's mono. The video is mono in audio.
This was made in 1990. What now?
95. You'd think by this point every movie would be in stereo, but
1995.
Okay. To be fair, maybe it's the particular copy we're using.
Oh, because it's a Christmas movie, we gotta start off with something going on.
Oh, this is important.
I'm not going to mention what the disease is because that may come off as too complex and because there's actually a lot of cures these days, but no, it's incuritis. Actually, no. Actually, no. Even incuritis has a cure.
We could have gone the Balto
So
way.
what's
So,
the name
yeah.
then?
So Teo, help us out. How do you cure disease? Not just any not a specific disease, just a disease that she needs to survive until Christmas, Teo. How do we achieve that?
Well,
You
oh,
achieve it by
Drink
the
your
magic
Ovaltine
of
or something.
Christmas.
Son of a bitch.
well, okay. I guess I'll give the movie this. It starts off with something of a mature tone. You know, a brother maybe having to deal with the loss of his sister.
On Christmas, how depressed.
That's actually surprisingly adult.
I mean, could you imagine how the pitch for this movie went? Oh! I got a Christmas movie. We're gonna start with a boy's sister being deathly sick.
Oh,
at
so there's a
Christmas.
line coming up in a minute that
No, let's listen then.
You said that already.
I think it's. There it is.
Ah, there we go. It's that classic
Okay,
Superman
okay.
4 Quest for Peace tribble about wanting something enough.
She has to want to get better.
Okay. On the one hand,
Oh,
Okay. On the one hand, yes, there is the placebo effect, where sometimes if somebody believes it well enough, their immune system will get messages from the brain
Pretty sure
that
this is
suggest
like
they get
terminal
better.
illness,
And
though.
the reverse, for as much as cheesy as it is, people losing their will to live actually happens, like in Star Wars Episode 3.
My only problem is that I think they're being a bit too vague with it, but okay, I guess it's not too bad so far.
I'm guessing also it's because of he's a child, so the parents are trying to get around a bit in explaining this to him.
Sure, no, I understand that that's a thing, Teo. My problem is that she was having 2 kids. She didn't think it was
No,
worth
no,
living because
I
of
already,
them.
I already told you, Pedro, the problem for that particular case is how abrupt and cheesy it is.
Anyway,
Like,
well-
it should have been handled better.
Well, okay.
but that's okay because the brother has a plan.
Well, okay, Mako, for the
Okay.
first original story like ever, it does seem like it has something of an interesting premise going on.
You know,
Too
can-
bad the execution will be well.
Not
okay,
that great.
I saw Bob. I really watched Bob Show's review before this commentary, and yeah, and I'm gonna have to agree with him on this. But as someone who also, like Bob, also believes in the power of optimism, I hate this movie because it turns that message into a cheesy fest. It devalues the power of optimism.
I decided to go into this movie blind, although I really thought it was going to be a ripoff of Frosty the Snowman, but I guess not. Although,
I-
You
actually-
can blame Pedro for this because he's the only reason I remember this movie
With
existed.
the piano.
did you like this movie as a kid, Roy?
Probably. I had shit taste in movies.
Oh, that's nice. He's going to use a snowman to cheer up his sister.
Okay, allow me.
Although I do have to say
The
this.
sister, the little girl, is once again played by the same actress who played Red Riding Hood, and the little girl from. Hold on.
Hey,
That's
hey,
kinda
my
creepy.
name is my name
Yeah,
is the
that's a
Smoking
little-
Snowman.
It was the combination of the music and the slowly pan out.
But
Yeah.
yeah, this little girl did the voices for practically every one of their movies. She did Little Red Riding Hood. She did Heidi. Like seriously, was this actress the daughter of the producers or something?
I mean,
Well,
Jimmy.
Funnily enough, I think she's gone on to be quite a prolific voice actress to this day. Apparently,
I mean,
Yeah,
to
she
be fair,
has. She has to. What I'm interested is that where did the Good Times find this girl, and why did they stuff her into every one of their movies?
well, Pedro, let's not forget, they also have a prolific voice actor from Dragon Ball Z in practically all their movies. I forget the guy's name.
Really.
Yeah.
And hey, this movie even has Kathleen
Gotta-
Barr.
got-
What the heck?
Gotta start your career somewhere, I guess.
I love how on the Google page, the only cast member listed is Kathleen Barr. Even still, that's quite an amazing feat to get freaking Kathleen Barr on board. Snowden.
So basically, the Snowman is called Snowden, and the plan is that the kid is going to tell her a story about Snowden.
Oh.
Oh.
But so let's see.
Snowden. Yeah. Once upon a time, there was a mountain in Wales called Snowden.
Cue
Not that one,
also,
was-
cue also the piano theme.
Sorry,
Okay.
Wibs.
Okay. I get the girl is sick, but she seems to be faring well, fine enough. I mean, granted, maybe if I knew what she was sick with, I'd be a bit more worried, but I don't know. She seems to be...
Yeah, I was about to
Pretty
mention,
perky.
Joe, also a good thing that this disease is not contagious.
I guess it just gives her incredibly white lips, which sometimes change to pink, going off of the animation.
Teo. Well, Teo, it's just disease. We don't know if it's contagious or anything. It's
Also,
just
her hair,
disease.
while her
Also-
brother's hair is a
also,
consistent color, hers
his-
keeps
his
switching
skin,
no matter the lighting.
Not only
Yeah,
that,
his skin tone changes constantly.
not only that, like I said, her lips constantly change color. Like,
at
seriously,
that.
they're
He's
white there.
That face is... Seriously, her face was soulless for like a full second there.
And I to do it.
Again, that's another common problem with this studio. They're very incompetent in their animation direction areas as well, not just the writing. Like, I get that the budget is not
guess,
exactly high, but
I guess it's also because of a lack of communication. Because while the writer and the creative producers mostly are American, the actual animation studio is Japanese.
Reminder
so I'm
that-
guessing
Reminder
the
that
teams had a weird communication between
but
them.
Theo, that wasn't a problem in Batman the Animated Series or the Superman Animated Series.
I want to remind you that Jetlag Productions, the same people who brought us He-Man and Marshall Bravestar brought us this.
Wait, really? Wasn't that Hanna-Barbera?
Was Lou Scheimer involved in this?
Possibly.
It says in the credits, produced by the Care
Oh.
Brothers. The credits don't mention Lou Scheimer.
Heimdall, what are you doing with
That's
the Rainbow
right.
Bridge?
The Queen's Princess Electra. Yes, that's her name. Princess Electra's castle is rainbow colored.
Is this all part of the storytelling, or did he just give his sister some
I'm-
drugs?
I'm pretty sure Heimdall got too much cider in his drink.
So that's why I haven't had any recently. He stole mine.
Good lord. Let's see.
Well, what was your first clue?
I know I shouldn't be biased.
He
but
sounds
the
like a bad guy.
Yeah,
Yes, my name is the Snowman.
Also, couple that with the gloves, the trench coat, the hat, and everything, and the shots from behind.
Stranger danger!
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Trust me, Joe. It's gonna get worse in that regard.
This comes off to me as like a really misguided attempt to be cool. So look, they dress up the Snowman in a
25
fancy...
cent tour of the
Again,
place?
Oh,
Again,
God.
Dweebs,
For a second, I thought he was holding a knife.
Again, Dweebs, I'm tempted to see that the people behind this movie saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie and saw, hey, that scene where we use the trench coat, this guy is cool, let's replicate that.
Oh, well, what a shock. Scott McNeil is also in this movie.
Yeah, Scott McNeil was
Also,
a
that
regular.
laugh makes him sound even more creepy.
It's so sad because I really love the guy as a voice actor, but we keep casting
Scott McNeil. Yeah.
Yeah, from Dragon Ball. Also, Teal, that's not all. We've also got Andrea Libman, Ian James Corlott, Lillian Carson, Gary Chalk,
So
Bill
I
Maurice
guess the
Hayes.
voiceover was done in Canada, I'm guessing.
Maybe the reason the writing and animation is so shit is because they wasted all their budget on the voice actors.
Wouldn't that be typical?
Don't point, that's rude. Why was no one told Phoenix write that, actually?
Okay. So,
You're
Let me
basically you're using the same problem as reference ref. Balance out your budget for all the various aspects of the production. Don't just spend all your money in one aspect and then just ship out on everything else.
so let me see if I get this straight. Essentially, this story is about a boy telling his sister a tale about them going to a kingdom.
Yeah, remember, what we're seeing right now is not actually happening, Joe, but that's just him telling a story to her.
He's
So,
trying to inspire her,
I
essentially.
get that, but why insert themselves into the story? Like, I mean, unless they're actually playing about
Immersion?
I mean, maybe if they were
Because-
doing some role playing, I'd understand. But if you're telling her a story, I don't know. It just seems a bit weird.
I have a theory, Jova. They wanted to have proper main characters within this story. However, that would require animating 2 new characters that we couldn't afford. So let's insert the already made drawings of the 2 main characters into the story. They insert themselves into the story. There you go. Problem solved.
Nah,
What?
I think
Jesus.
it's just the sake of imagination.
Well, I guess it gives us an excuse why the snowman isn't melting in what is clearly a spring.
Physics? What are those?
To be fair,
That doesn't work like that.
Well,
I
to
know
be-
that this place is magical, but Jesus.
to be fair, guys, it's literally a kid telling the story, so I guess it's excuse. I mean, hey,
Yeah,
the
but there's
snow
only so
How
far
the
you can
snowman
stretch
not melting?
disbelief.
again,
because-
Dwibs. It's all part of his imagination.
magical snowman, Dwibs.
Yeah, but so was the snowman in the snowman, and he still melted.
Wait,
Well,
and
but this snowman is even more magical.
okay.
Also, spoilers.
Okay, again, for the sake of argument, this is technically the kid telling his sister a whimsical, magical story, so I guess the usual rules go out the window.
Filler song.
Yeah, okay, I was about to say,
Filler.
I have a little experience. I have relatively little experience in these Good Times movie compared to the other people here.
Oh boy, that pillar sure looks great.
The first one thing that I noticed
one that looks exactly the same.
the first thing that I noticed consistently that the
Awkward
movies,
silence.
their movies
Okay.
love to waste time a lot.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. These movies are only 45 minutes. You cannot afford to waste time.
I mean, Red Riding Hood didn't waste time, but then again, that was Red
It,
Riding
it,
Hood.
Red
still,
Riding
it still
Hood.
had a bit of elongated shots and a pointless song.
Yeah, it
so-
still had that pointless whistling song.
True, but I mean, even that, I guess even that didn't feel like it was wasting
Oh,
time in
Princess Electra.
comparison.
the
Why does
fire-
everyone look like a villain here? Seriously, that looks she gave.
It's,
Yeah,
it's the creepy
the
smile
snowman
to them.
sounds like.
Imagination is bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, the snowman looking and sounding like a villain's bad enough. Now we got the supposedly incorruptible princess looking like a villain.
Okay, I have to wonder, did they explicitly make the
Powerful
snowman
smile.
like...
The basic point is that her smile is so powerful that it keeps this entire imagination land up. So basically, if she loses her smile, everything goes to shit.
Oh god, it's like Shawn Michaels, but losing his smile is actually extremely detrimental.
Also, that's clearly Andrea doing the voice as well.
I guess she didn't really have a lot of range yet.
Oh,
Not
I'm...
just that. Well, she was a child at the time that these movies were made, so that can be excused. The problem is that whoever was making this movie didn't have the money to buy to hire other actors. There you go, Duateo. This is the place where all children come to have fun.
that is
So
clearly
you-
carousel music.
So you mean? Oh, forgot what it's called in the English version.
Pleasure Island?
Wow.
Yeah, Pleasure,
Pleasure
Island.
Island, yeah.
Shiro, the Magic Roundabout film looks weird.
Unfortunately, Teo, nobody will get turned into a donkey.
Oh,
Nor
please,
the
I...
snowman will become Satan or something.
Oh, please, I actually appreciate that. I could trim down on the nightmare fuel, please. So...
That's funny. Joe. One of my original picks for this year's Christmas would have been the movie Krampus, and that's supposed to be a Christmas horror movie.
Oh, that movie.
What are you gonna do? Magic
Hold on.
away her illness for a bit?
Hold on.
Guess you just had to believe enough.
So there you go, Teo. She could just imagine her wheelchair to turn into anything.
Wait.
Well, anything with wheels.
Hold on. So she's paralyzed, or is that just part of her sickness?
She has a sickness, Joe, but that makes her not be able to walk. We're not going to ever to explain what illness that is. It's just an illness.
Okay. You know...
I know that Warner Brothers wanted to have this initiative of
tear it too?
What?
Pony.
because she's a girl, of course. But anyway, I knew that having Warner Bros. Tried to have the DC superheroes turn into kids, but having the origin story of Barbara Gordon as Oracle as a kid is a bit morbid, if you ask me.
Well, to be fair, there was also that friend of Billy Batson's who turns into that superhero who was also relegated to a wheelchair. I think the
True.
thing is, like, well, as far as we know, she's not paralyzed. I mean, maybe she's in the wheelchair because she's not well, but...
Usually when it comes to having a disease that doesn't allow you to walk, it's because it exhausts you too much. You're literally too tired to do anything.
Only problem is that she's been pricky, but then again, this is all in the fairy tale, and You know, actually, if he's telling that story, couldn't he make it so that she could walk in it? Unless he wanted to make her relatable. God, I'm so confused.
Okay.
Trust me, kid, that's probably for the best.
So, I'm just gonna ask a question that I'm sure no one else is thinking, but, what's the main plot of the story that the kid is telling?
Basically, Jova, you'll see. Basically, there's going to be some kind of a point, but it's not going to be clear just yet.
Also, I'm
Basically,
sure.
it's nap time now, so
Yay, because...
it's the movie's nap time now, so time to sleep.
Because, sure... Yes, because I can
Also-
believe that a 5-year-old kid would totally enjoy including part of the story being about nap time.
Are there bed
surprised-
sheets waffles?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. I'm also surprised that the Snowman has a kumquat for his nose and not a carrot.
Oh, great! More bad music.
With birds?
It's a lullaby.
I don't know. I'd be more scared if I saw these creatures.
You know,
singing a lullaby to me.
people joke around Christmas that smoking candy cane gives hallucination, but starting to believe it may be true.
Truly, the greatest performance since the Rolling Stones.
It sounds like they're trying to be Beatles clones.
Which it reminds me that which connecting the dots, I'm guessing they saw Jungle Book and wanted to insert their own self-parody of that, I'm guessing.
I mean, you know, to be fair, singing birds were kind of common in the
Since
90s.
Dumbo, yeah, I know. I know, sorry, Jova.
Well,
This is
you
still
know what, it's
going.
not your fault.
Okay, I get it. It's a lullaby. You don't have to show us the whole song. It's pointless.
Is the movie voluntary trying to make the audience go sleep?
If they haven't already.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but this movie may actually be making me
oh,
feel
what the
what? Crickets or mantises?
and a very old ladybug.
Wow, this is like a Star Wars would do a budget.
This song's really bugging you guys,
In
huh?
fact, this is really it's a good thing. We can tell you, you know, in anticipation, audience, this Christmas you will not be seeing the Star Wars Christmas special. You'll be spared this year from it.
Yeah, little spoiler, but
Maybe
yeah,
next
not this
Who
year.
knows?
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Even as a kid, this would have bored or just...
I
Dulled
kind of
me.
agree. This is not. I mean, I get the intention that you want to. Maybe it needs to be placed in front of a toddler in order to make him shut up and stay quiet. But no.
The song is still going, by the
Okay,
way.
I'm sorry.
This goes on for some time.
I'm sorry. You literally have a story being told by a little preteen kid. If ever you had an excuse for some nonsense and action to be going on, this would be a time for a story.
Sleep already.
You know,
They're gonna keep singing until you fall asleep, please.
that fan-made video.
The song's gonna go on till like 1 in the morning.
That fan video where Morgana that does the whole Samuel L. Jackson and tells you to go the fuck to sleep. That's actually way more effective and funny at the same time. And it's shorter too.
Finally.
About in time.
Yeah.
And I don't
Wait,
remember
I
a
missed something. Can you start?
Okay, move on.
and I don't remember a single lyric.
Hold on. And this is where the plot actually starts, Jova.
Good. Only 20 minutes
Halfway
into this
through.
47-minute movie. Gee, I had no idea we'd get some conflict in this movie because
Also, what kind of accent are we going for the Snowman? Brooklyn?
Hold on, guys.
What?
None of the kids are having fun.
Everyone is depressed now?
maybe
Yes.
because they realize. Hey, I think I know why. Maybe because they realize that they're freaking kidnapped and they're missing their parents. But
The
nah,
princess
just being
lost
cynical.
her smile. So you're
Just
probably wondering.
smile.
Hold on. I want you guys to listen to this.
How?
What?
Hold on.
The Phantom Thieves? What?
Hold on, listen.
Also pronoun game.
Lord of Yuck.
That's literally his name, the
Oh, those
shameless
eyes.
charlatan.
Just mentioning the name makes everyone go
The
weep.
shaming charlatan. That's our villain, ladies and gentlemen.
It really sounds like a silver.
All right. And now comes the next part of the plan. He's gonna pull an Akito Hino, and he's gonna throw in a cliffhanger. There, I'll continue the rest of the story. 10 episodes for now.
Huh.
Also, Joe, I think I'm hearing something from your end.
Oh, that would be the volume.
You know, kids, your story is nowhere near good
Ugh.
enough for you to earn your cliffhanger trolling.
Also, not gonna lie, as a kid, if I saw a snowman like that outside my window, I think I'd be a bit frightened.
Same.
Okay. On the one hand, I get it. He's doing it so that she'll have the will to live. My only issue is that we never saw anything suggesting that she didn't have a will to live from the get-go. She's been perky about what?
Stranger danger.
What? Wait. No. Movie? Don't go there. Don't you...
He smiled earlier on. There was a clip of him earlier when he made a
So
face.
there you go, Theo. All you need to do to keep patients with the will of live is to tell them shitty stories about snowmen.
Okay, it's official. This is creepier than the actual Jack Frost horror film.
Yes, Theo?
Why is the
I
snowman
spent an
alive?
entire of my life. Whatever, it's a long story.
No, go on.
No, it's bad. Part of my job is to kind of do this, but this is kind of like Patch Adams. You're taking an actual profession, and you're ridiculizing for the sake of having a digested version for little kids. It's just...
Yeah.
I mean, I get wanting to teach optimism.
I mean... It's just offensive.
Let me put it like
Yeah.
this. This would have worked if we actually saw the girl being down, depressed, and actually sick of living. I know
Not
it would
only
be a bit
that,
risque for a kid's film, but actually commit to it. Like, look, if she actually seemed down and depressed, then I could get why there's definitely urgency to get her to feel
She's
better.
smiling now.
No, this is like
The
what
flashback.
happened the night before.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
wait,
The charlatan stole her.
And it
Her
looks
smile.
like your generic evil wizard, of course.
That's the thing, Theo. We're actually going to see his face, and it doesn't look at all like that.
So what? Did he rip off part of her mouth
Oh,
muscles?
Jesus.
He looks like.
It reminds me a bit of the strange. It reminds me a bit of the stranger from Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath.
Again, the
reminds
Lord
me of the
of
villain of the
Rock.
first Rayman.
Yeah, you kind of get. Oh, Mr. Dark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda. Of course. Because I guess we have a
Pretty sure
Captain. So our villain
I
is a Captain Planet villain now.
I am going to destroy all of Christmas presents, and the children cannot open them. And by doing that, I will. I don't. Why am I even doing this? Actually,
I don't know,
Also,
but you look like you had growing pains from Thundercats.
Also, he has a rat on his staff.
you know, at least the.
Yeah,
At least the,
I kind of agree with Frosty here. It's
You know,
really
right,
worse than
you
I
know-
thought.
you know, writers, the Grinch actually had a reason to want to steal Christmas. Just saying.
Even in the live action movie, he had a reason. As wacky as he was big.
Hey, isn't this movie
So
supposed to
there
be...
you go, Jova.
I keep thinking he's saying Princess Electro.
Okay, basically, okay, Jova, that's our plot. We're going to find the charlatan's lair and take back the princess's smile.
Possibly
However,
beating the
there you go,
shit out of
Jova. Now she's no longer has the will to live. It's a bit too late, writers.
Well, and remember, this is all in the story. Again, that's the thing. We're seeing more of her in the story have-doubts, but remember, in the real world, we never see any scene of her being dejected or down or depressed or whatnot.
Basically, yes, this cliche scene. They're just telling her that she has to believe in herself.
Please.
I mean, the problem, the worst part in this, it's not so much the mere idea, but the focusing entirely on that.
Look, if this were just...
Just like in everything in life, balance is the right word. For an optimal cure, there is also obviously has to be some kind of input from the patients, but also the meds have to do their work.
Yeah, here's the thing, Us. Yeah, true.
Combination. Obviously, like Jova said, the placebo effect, proper effect. A person that can lose potentially their will to live is more prone to have worsening their. To what the fuck?
Also,
Where's
did
the
they just say
Come
it was
on, where's
called
the founder?
Liquidly?
Where is the founder?
I'll just
I
say
need
that
the founder.
I'll just say that there was a lit anime episode that did this really well. So just go watch that instead.
So many things have done this message better. It's actually kind of befuddling that they screwed up an idea this simple. And again,
Well, Jova, it's abundantly clear that these people are not really talented.
yeah, but it's like you have to go out of your way to botch up a message like this. Like, seriously. It wouldn't even take too much to make this better, but, well, here we are. Also, for a movie called The Magic Gift of the Snowman, how much has the actual snowman actually done aside from give him tours?
He's talking a lot, that's for sure, but he's not doing much.
No.
Oh god.
Oh my
Now
god!
With that phrase, Jova, with that phrase and the outfit, he's the question, just with a face.
Good god.
Not just that, guys. That's literally the writers turning to us and saying, "Don't ask questions about my story."
You know what else that means? With that mentality and that voice, he's basically the cat from Care Bears into Wonderland. The rapping one.
Oh god.
Yes, it's a
Cheshire
rap.
Cat.
Yep.
Emery?
That's the name of your sister.
Emery?
Or is it
Yeah,
Elizabeth?
Emery Elizabeth.
Emery and Elizabeth. Okay, Jova, it shouldn't be Emily instead of
Yeah.
Emery?
Yeah, it
Emery.
depends. Some people can have that name.
Oh heck, Anne Marie would have fit better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Emery. Is it Anne Marie? It's just that it's just that the kid pronounces it badly.
I don't know. I didn't
Possible.
write this.
Why not just go for another take?
We hear her name like throughout the movie, so we'll find out.
Hey
you know,
guys!
eventually.
But this movie was directed by Ed Wood, so we have to do everything in one take.
Hey guys!
Redwood.
Hey guys, let's play a game. It's count how many minutes we've been in this one scene talking about what we're gonna do.
Yeah. It's
Seriously.
For animation, Jova.
No,
for a movie, again, you only have budget for 35 minutes of animation, and you waste it in so much stuff.
And the snowman instantly melt because by staying liquid, the water has to be above the
Actually,
temperature
no,
of the
Joe.
zeros.
Actually, no,
zero
Teo.
radius.
What? Did
Actually,
he,
no, Teo, because since this is a magical snowman, we could just use him as a boat.
he absorbed the water and grew? Snow does not work that way.
Just start singing the bare necessities. I know you want to do it.
Jesus Christ, the music even sounds similar. Maybe this was a Jungle Book
Look
ripoff
at that
in
wonderful
disguise.
animation of I love that shot where only his arms were moving. Everything else was perfectly still.
Okay, look. Again.
It's like he's a boat.
Again, I get that. Technically, this story is being told through the imagination of a young child, so I guess we have to throw out some rules of logic. But there comes a point where it really feels like a lazy attempt on the writers. Also,
Wait, now he said it.
Hammered.
No, but the way he said it, it sounded like Henry Elizabeth. That's a man's name. Like,
Also, guys,
someone-
you're standing way too close to the puddle of radioactive goo.
why is there radioactive goo?
wait. Let me guess. The girl falls into the radioactive goo and she becomes a superheroine for it, which cures her of her illness.
That can be good.
That's a good thing to teach kids. Put
Don't
your fingers
taste it.
into the
She's gonna-
toxic waste.
She's gonna become the Professor X of this universe.
But don't you know, Jova, that's what the Detroit Become Human taught me. Just stick your fingers in it and taste something. For example.
Well, to be fair,
To be fair, I think those
Teo,
were
it's
robots
robot.
that did
Oh,
that.
yeah,
I
the
know. But
robots,
it's still...
Oh, here's the charlatan.
So we
Instead of
got.
petting a
playing
cat,
with
instead
his
of petting a
rat,
cat, he's petting a rat
Wait,
instead of
hold
a
on.
cat.
Motivation.
A naked pink rat with sitting on his crotch. Mm. Yeah, sure, buddy. Keep believing that.
Because I have nothing better to do on Saturday nights. My yuck factories. Was this movie written by a 10-year-old?
Considering
No,
also
no,
the
no, no, no,
design, it really does seem like an odd world.
Pedro,
character.
if this were written by a 10-year-old, we'd have had at least a Megazord, some awesome scenes, and a flipping T-Rex somehow involved in this. You know, something awesome.
I know, Ryder.
Wacky, it's
Okay, I think I realized the major problem with this movie. This is what writers think little kids would tell a story of. Like, okay, I get it. Little kids may not tell the most sophisticated story, but I'm sorry. The story would be way more interesting than the way this one has been.
Also, we're like, well,
The
it's
problem
like
is that-
also
the problem is that
32-minute scene, and the movie has barely moved forward.
Yeah. Again, the characters are the main characters are bland. The plot is very paper thin.
The title character is practically inconsequential except for that one scene where he became a boat.
Very awkwardly.
He's mostly just here to spot exposition.
Also, it's also, kid, you must have the strength of Hercules
Okay,
to
if
move
I can say
wheelchair.
one positive
Oh
thing about
no!
this movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a swamp. Oh no, it's a swamp of sadness.
One positive thing I can say about this movie: the music isn't as badly synthy.
Congratulations, you did it.
I think it's honestly, I think it's a bit of detrimental though, because in that kind of way, that's what kind of made it a bit special for Good Times movies that I watched.
True.
At least I remember that. Here is just non-existent.
Okay, we're gonna do one of those things. Okay.
And again, the skin tone keeps changing.
Oh, I see. So is this gonna turn into one of those PSAs for disabled kids saying you can do anything a non-disabled
Just like
person
in
can
that
do?
cartoon, I forgot, Joe, what it's called. With
Crazy clowns of
something,
Kid
yeah.
Town something. Ugh.
This, I mean, George Bloom did not write this one. For those who don't know, he wrote The Good Time Cinderella and Little Red Riding Hood. But that's the thing.
Excuse me? What?
There you go. The snowman just abandons them to their death.
Okay.
Our hero, everyone?
This was supposed to be an uplifting tale, right?
It another cliffhanger.
He just stands up and leaves.
Again, the Latin anime can afford to do this kind of cliffhanger trolley because its story is actually good.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's a few problems here. One, okay, yeah, you're doing this for the sake of trying to give her the will to live, but let's think about it like this. Let's say she is so downtrodden with how you ended the story there that actually worsens her condition.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes a shock trauma.
Hold on,
can
guys,
be
guys,
opposite
guys,
effect of
hold
what you want to do.
Because apparently this kid cannot sing, they decided to having him recite things instead of singing.
Oh.
Thank God.
Okay.
Also, his mouth was stopped open for like a full half second there.
You're perfect just the way you are. Are we seriously turning this into a PSA?
What is the message exactly, though?
The message is that if you want to get better at your illness, you just have to get
God! Why is he alive in the? Why is he alive in the real world? It doesn't make sense.
Also, he's watching a little girl sleep this entire time. It's really.
Don't you see?
The snowman sees you in your sleep. The snowman sees you in your nightmare.
Don't you see, Dwibs? One day, Jova will get better from his cold. He will get better when he wants it so hard enough that his coldness will have no chance but to just disappear.
Yeah, because I totally didn't want to feel better. That's why I got sick on the very day of my final exam, which made it tougher for me. But I still strove through it because I didn't want to be well on the one day that my grade could be depending on it.
Yeah.
Also, I love how we immediately cut to the next night of her. So, yeah, that was just.
This is okay. Even by this studio's standards, this is a complete garbage fire disaster.
So Pedro,
Like, seriously.
you think it's safe to say that they do better when they actually try and make their own takes on stories as opposed to their own original stuff?
Yeah, Joe. But there they actually have a template to work with because this is a fucking garbage fire disaster that has zero understanding of how storytelling works.
Yeah, that's right. You're telling the story. A Again! I can't stand when they try... Okay, again, this is one of the things when you could have a chance to make your story as nonsensical as possible, and sure, while there is some nonsensical stuff, it's really just stuff that's more of a hindrance to the plot than an actual convenience. Like, you want to make stuff weird and wacky to this world, why not have it be stuff that actually benefits the characters or makes the story more interesting?
Because, Jova, that would require imagination. Something that these filmmakers clearly do not have.
Which is honestly part of the problem, that they're trying to use the excuse that a kid's telling this story to excuse all this.
A tank.
Tanks do not have wheels, dweebs.
Congratulations, you are the official... What?
Have we opened the portal to what?
A plane.
Well, she did say anything with wheels.
So
here's hoping can actually pilot it, kid.
that's okay to remember. It's an imaginary magical plane, so
You know, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this may actually be the movie that gives the Troll in Central Park a run for its money with the stupid "if you just dream enough, you'll get it" thing.
At least this movie's shorter.
True, yeah, but I don't.
However, Teo, the animation in the Troll Central Park is better.
Much better. Also, yeah, we hooked back up with the Snowman. I guess we're completely over that falling out we had.
Let's just see, it was a secret test of character.
Why? You haven't done anything.
Are you actually gonna do something in this movie?
Oh, and he opened the door anyway, so...
Okay.
I just had a bad fur day.
What do you do all day? Gargamel, what do you do all day?
Seriously, he looks like a fusion of Gargamel and what's his name from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Watch it as the live action reboot will have Hank
No,
Azaria play.
no, the guy whose face we never see.
Oh.
God, I can't remember his
I'm sorry,
name.
Jova. Sorry, can you repeat that?
You remember the character from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe whose face we never... Well, we see his eyes, but never his...
Wardak, I think.
Wardak.
No, Hordak is the villain of
that's
She-Ra.
from She-Ra. That's from She-Ra.
My bad.
Speaking of which, who else has seen that new She-Ra show?
I've seen...
Alright, guys. Villain reveal. Face, I guess. There you go. That's his face.
What?
Fuck?
He looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like,
no, he looks like... He looks like Larry... Nah.
I can't put my head on it quite now. So...
What's so funny, dude?
Yeah, okay, what's your motivation? Like, did you never had a present for
my
Christmas?
motivation, Teo, is to take away the happiness of children.
Congratulations, you're a pedophile. Moving on.
I'm sorry, Teo, but I'm too bland to have a motivation.
Wow, you are easy.
Our villain, ladies and gentlemen.
Defeated by a wheelchair on a crotch.
Hey, you gotta do something.
So we're gonna play rugby with this. Oh, okay. Oh, close, dude.
Yeah,
Also,
why isn't he melting?
Also, why bother giving the snowman a pipe if he never smokes it?
Oh.
There you go. Child-friendly decapitation.
I guess we're just...
There's no blood, so it's kid friendly.
And now it really is the question. For context, the question is a superhero of the DC universe that doesn't have a face, so it's kind of like that.
Charlatan, you really suck at your job, you know.
Yeah. I mean, does he even have a job? Like, I don't know.
Apparently he owns...
My job is to take away the happiness of children.
Jesus Christ! Apparently he grew large enough to pick up her...
Please, don't flush me!
Wait, hold on. So the power of the smile is enough to hurt him?
Oh, wait, that's the briefcase from Pulp Fiction or something? What the fuck is that?
Wait. I'm sorry. If the smile is enough to hurt him, Why was he able to steal the princess while she was smiling in her sleep?
I had so much more scenery to... And there you go, he kills
What?
himself.
Fire? What?
Chemicals?
And,
What the fuck is going on?
and the villain, no, and I'll burn to death because of my complete incompetence. There you go, ladies and our villain, ladies and gentlemen, he defeats himself.
Oh. He,
How not to villain?
well, he
So-
burned alive.
So does that
So,
mean Frosty?
hey, Dwebs, you thought the Marvel has a problem with villains? Think again.
Oh, now
Yeah,
he's
this one's just
melting.
mental.
Wait, so only now you're melting?
Don't worry, Joe, but nobody cares, so...
Besides, with the tone of this
Yeah,
movie,
but the
we're
kids
probably
are now happy
he's-
now
he'll still be-
because-
oh god.
There
Wait.
you go, her smile, there you go, we killed the charlatan,
Please
so her
stop
smile is
smiling.
back.
And her
Wait.
creepy smile is also back.
But Shira, we need her to smile so that the happiness of
Wait,
children
hold
will
on,
return.
hold on.
Charming.
I have a question. How exactly do you steal someone's smile? How does that work?
Also, isn't this story
Oh,
supposed to
and
make
look
your
at
sister feel
that!
better?
And
Merry
uh,
Christmas!
And then everybody burned to death. The end.
That's supposed to give her the
Then
will to
everyone
live?
died.
That's supposed to
the
give her
heck?
the will to live by
When I
having the
said
friendly
this movie was a
snowman
garbage
die?
fire, I meant it figuratively and literally.
Wait, don't tell me that's how it ends.
Someone actually wrote this and presented it to a producer for approval.
Wait,
and
is this how it ends?
No, that better not be how it ends.
That would be depressing.
Also, that's seriously how the kid ends the story, and he
And then
expects...
everybody died.
Because...
We're gonna see her in the morning
I
already
know.
just fine.
I know
Oh,
that, but
okay.
seriously, though, he was supposed to tell the story to uplift her spirits, but we see her flipping crying to sleep.
Hold on, Jova, hold on. Did she die? Oh
Also,
no!
is it just me or does the room look a little more detailed now?
Yeah.
It's symbolism.
Also, was that
because
a
she's
jump in
better.
the animation?
The
No.
When he put his
animators,
arm in the back of his head.
the animators found an extra $1 in their pocket, Shiroi. So there you go, Teo. She's miraculously recovered from her illness.
It's not a good time to mention, but from personal experience, and I'm pretty sure some of you may have it. Usually, when a person is gravely, oh god, fuck you. When a person is gravely ill and has a day when we're feeling better, usually it's kind of before we are about to die. So yeah, premature
Very
celebration.
happy Christmas, everyone.
But Teo, the magic is inside you.
I'm
And
sorry.
the glow broke.
I'm sorry.
You know, I think I know it, and if I just can concentrate in this single middle finger, I can just point it right here and be gone.
I'm sorry. Are you seriously going to tell me that the boy ended his story
And
on
that's
such a
it.
downer note,
And of
thinking
course
that...
we close with the
And
book.
that, his sister wanted to see the world burn for Christmas, and that was her
What?
motivation.
Not only that, his...
That's,
Again, let me remind you, his sister went to bed crying from sadness, and that's supposed to give her the uplifting feel to live. Also, in
no,
regards
hey,
to...
let-
I'm coming
let's
off.
see the
I'm not
credits,
listening to a shitty song.
Well,
Also-
I need to see the people who need to be blamed for this.
It's basically the same team that made
Well,
the others,
let's
Teo.
see.
That's the thing. Like the other Good Times movies were just at worst boring or wasting time. This is just being spirited.
It really did get mean-spirited.
I can't believe a movie so short can have this much, evilness.
Welcome to the Good Times universe, Tio.
Honestly, Teo, that's not my diagnosis. My diagnosis is not so much evilness. I think the writers just are completely unaware of how
Wow.
mean-spirited this comes across. They're that clueless about how to tell a story. I don't think even they know how mean-spirited this comes across. That's the problem.
Considering how very simplistic it's the villain, I'm maybe inclined to believe that as well.
Seriously, it says something that the villain doesn't even seem as evil as the first impressions of the main characters
The
do.
villain is that kind of characterization from the Silver Age of comic books, where he's just evil for evil's sake. It's kind of also like a Captain Planet villain, although I would be inclined to say Captain Planet villains are more complex than this one.
Yeah.
So overall, might as well go Farm Thoughts time. Yeah, this is just a mess. I have
Michael Donovan.
relatively little experience with the Good Time movies by far so far, but this is the worst that I've seen so far. And keep in mind, one that I've seen so far, at least partially, has a lot of recycled animation. This one did not had it, and it still managed to be worse than that. So take that for what you will, I suppose.
Hell, even the Heidi one.
I just mentioned it.
I know. I'm just following up on what you said. Even the Heidi one, for as cheap and rushed as it was, it still felt like people were at least trying somewhat. This is just it's not, okay. To be fair, it's not a matter of not trying. It's just that this is a complete garbage fire. But go ahead.
I'll say that the voice acting is fine. Well, not the adult. The kids obviously needed to do a lot of takes because a lot of the lines did not sound good at all. But for the adults, it's serviceable. It's just that it's tied to a product where the voice acting is the least of the concern that I'm supposed to have. So, yay. No, definitely a minus. So, Christmas is definitely ruined. 0 out of 10. Next.
I ruined Tio's Christmas, everyone.
This is a complete disaster. A complete incompetent disaster. Like, it takes this, like, okay, this is their quote-unquote first original story. Guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but go back to ruining fairy tales. It's, oh god, this was horrid. I mean, I already knew because I watched Bob Show's review, but damn, even when you watch the full thing, it comes across even worse because it's just that much fillerish. And like I said, the villain is the most incompetent villain in the history of fiction. He literally gets thumped down by a girl in a wheelchair, and then he trips over his own stick, and then falls into the fire with chemicals, and he dies and burns to death. Like, oh god. And like Tio has been saying, the way they try to deliver this message is completely backwards. It comes across as dumb, complete misunderstanding of how this works, and just overall mean-spirited and insulting. It's the Snowden is completely inconsequential aside from being a boat in one scene. And
it's just there for supposed moral support, but it doesn't work at all.
Yeah, and the other characters are barely worth mentioning. Not to mention, like, you see, writers, in order to tell a story like this, you need balls. You need to actually tell me what illness she has. You need to tell me, like Jova said, we need to show her being completely depressed and giving up on life in order for something like this to work. But no, you like, the people who made this have no balls. And again, the story has no backbone whatsoever. There's literally the writers have no faith in the message that they're trying to convey.
You know what I realized?
For how historically inaccurate the Balto was, at least they didn't pull any punches and outright state that it was diphtheria and they needed their fucking medicines.
No, Balto was not historically accurate, but on its own merits, it was still a good movie.
That's what I mean, in a sense that Balto did not pull any punches in this regard. When the kid fell ill, they told you in your face what it is, and if you didn't know, like I did, I turned to my parents and asked, "What the fuck was that?"
Oh yeah. You know what else I realized? Pedro? What you said gets me thinking. We don't see the girl depressed before the boy tells the story, but we see her depressed within the story tells, and we see her more depressed with the places he leaves the story off at. Seriously, if anything, him telling the story made her more depressed.
Yeah, kinda.
But it magically cured her illness because
We said
It's
so.
because the miracle of Christmas.
Because now she wants it hard enough, Dwebs. But anyway, yeah.
Poppycock.
Like I was saying, again, it's abundantly clear that these people have no fortitude to really tell a story like this. They should just, and these people just are not talented enough at all. I'm completely convinced that the Little Red Riding Hood, that one's a good one. Watch it on my YouTube channel. Just search for it. You should be able to find it. I'm convinced that the Little Red Riding Hood one was just a fluke, because goddamn, everything else that they've made is garbage like this, or just inoffensively bland at worst. It's just at best, sorry. It's just not good. And yeah, kill this with fire. This one is this is not even fun to commentate.
It's funny you mention it, because the main character pretty much did get killed with fire in the end of the boys' story.
This isn't even.
How is he alive then at the window? I don't understand.
Their Cinderella adaptation was terrible, but at least it was funny to make fun of. You know, it was fun to make fun of. This is not even that. This is just atrociously offensive. Next, J-Roy.
So yeah, I thought I'd share with you a piece of my childhood. Glad you liked it.
Great, thanks very much.
I am almost reconsidering releasing this on Christmas, but I digress.
I'm absolutely convinced, Shiwa, that you probably repressed this.
I did, but well, remember, it is your fault that I knew the Good Times intro felt so familiar to me, but I couldn't place it. So I went to the wiki when you mentioned that they made original stuff, and I saw this name and was like, wait.
It just clicked.
You know what they say, the truth is never always pleasant.
It's stranger than fiction.
I found it, and I watched the first 5 minutes of it after I found it, and that's all I could watch. I remembered every bit of it, and it was a mistake.
Good Times Entertainment was.
I guess you could say it wasn't a good. I guess you could say it wasn't a good time, then.
Let the good times burn.
Burn, baby, burn.
Anyway.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it. This just isn't. It's terribly animated. The voice acting isn't the worst I've ever heard. It's not great, but I have heard worse.
It's good in the sense that, holy cow, I need money to pay the bills.
Also, again, wasting of talent with Scott McNeil.
McNeil,
it's pretty decent for the budget that they had. The story is, kind of disrespectful, like you guys said. And that's it. I don't think I can say anything else. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yay. Jova.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry, guys. My pick's next, and it'll be much better.
This is the worst Good Times film I've ever seen so far. Maybe there's something worse, but holy cow. This has the usual stupidity you expect from a Good Times film, but amped up to the 10th degree, but it's also got something the other ones didn't have. This one just feels mean-spirited. Like, the way it opens up, I can get it, I mean, it's not a happy subject, but then the way they run with everything, it almost feels like the boy is trying to kill his sister. Sure, his plan starts off relatively sensible enough, but then the cliffhangers and then just that ending. Look, I could have cared less of the main character, but dude, as a kid, don't you think that would make a kid pretty depressed to see the happy-go-lucky guy die? It's kind of like the death of Biffo in Inside Out, only Biffo was more fleshed out, but you get the idea here and there. It's like, holy cow, son, you're a terrible storyteller. And yeah, sure, maybe
you're talking to the kid or the writer?
Both.
I don't know I don't know if I should be angry at the fact that the writers were clearly using the excuse. It's a kid telling the story, so we can make it. However, it's just, I'm sorry, even by kid telling standards, this doesn't make sense. And even still, you're telling me nothing else melted the snowman except for fire. Finally, holy cow. Guess I remembered that about Snowman. But even still, man, that feels a little just dark and unnecessary. And I'm not saying that kids can't take it, it's just, let's remember, the boy is trying to tell his sister a story that will give her the will to live. Last I checked, it was kind of stories with, better endings that gave people the will to live. I mean, sure, yeah, it's happy that the princess gets her smile back, even though it's
Even
in the
though
box,
that
but
smile
somehow
is
it
very
gets back
creepy.
to her. But still, the snowman, Snowden, I barely even remember his name, dies. Like, holy cow, that's sad, except, oh, he's alive in the real world. That still doesn't make any flipping sense. It's just, oh wow, God, this is really bad because it's trying to take some real life elements like the medical condition, whatever the heck it was, into consideration. And at first it seems like they're gonna tell a decent enough story, but then it just goes off the rails, and man oh man, does this thing grind. Like, it grinds to a halt for... Actually, you know, there are like only 2 or 3 songs, and yet somehow the singing in this one felt like it durated longer than almost any of the Good Times films. Sure, those have more songs, but at least they have more variety and are actually more interesting to listen to for how bad they are or how cheesy they are.
How ironic that a company called Good Times only has one movie that's actually a good time.
I know, right? And speaking of
Well, it's
not
better
being...
than none.
And speaking of not being a good time, if you're not bored by this, you'll be disgusted, or you'll just be saddened. Again, for a place that's supposed to be whimsical, there's a lot of unhappiness in this movie. And I get it, maybe that may seem like a nitpick, but again, yeah, what exactly is the lesson here? It's clearly not, oh, something bad in life may happen
There is a
because
basis, Joe,
everything
in a
good
sense,
happens.
Do not give in to despair in a hopeless situation. The problem
This is like the
is in how it's
2010
told.
Nutcracker.
See, here's the problem. That was a neat message that they started to tell, but then they got lost in the stupid, you gotta
Yeah.
believe, or you can do anything even though you're in a wheelchair, and
It's
I'm
like
still
a Parappa the
wondering.
Rapper episode. I know, I gotta believe.
Yeah, the difference being that even still, Parappa still had to actually work while rapping. Like
Yeah.
this, the girl just imagines anything with wheels and bam! So, and don't even get me started on the whole how she'll live thing of that because we barely get told any context. This feels just more an excuse for the tale. And yeah, you could argue that some stories are like that, but I'm sorry, this one feels practically disconnected from the ideal. That's how bad it gets. Animation is tripe as usual. The voice actors, like I said, they sound good for the typical either being held hostage or I need to do this to pay my bills sort of sense, so they give good effort. It's not like they skimp out on the effort here and there. But man, oh man, the songs are atrocious. The story is practically non-existent. And this is one of the worst attempts I've seen at telling the morals here and there.
I have yet to hear a single good song in these movies aside from the opening song of Little Red Riding Hood. That's like the one. Don't get me wrong, the lyrics were a bit rough, but that song at the very least did have a point, and it did sound nice enough. But every other song I've heard from this studio is just, ugh.
All right, next up.
Me?
Alan Menken ain't gonna lose his throne anytime soon. Anyway, go ahead, Dwebs.
Yeah, this film, yeah, it was just all over the place. I mean, I get it, you know, it's a story, it's from a kid's perspective, but I think usually stories told from the perspective of a child is usually, you know, at least fun and entertaining. This is like what an adult would think that a kid would tell the story. And I mean, I know that happens in writing, but it just feels like that, and there wasn't really effort to try and make it feel like it was from an actual kid telling a story to his sick sister. That's just it, really. It's just not a pleasant movie. So, did they make any more movies after this?
Oh,
Yes.
plenty.
Oh, goody.
They were very
wait.
prominent. They were very prominent during the night. Forgot the entire '90s was because these movies did not cost that much to make. So obviously, it was incredibly easy to get a lot of profits from these things.
And
This
they
movie
had
in
the
particular
ingenious
is the only one I
mockbuster
have
formula.
any real remembrance of, really.
Here's the thing, Dweebs. This studio ran off of the infamous mockbuster formula. Fool people into thinking a movie is actually this better, bigger, better movie, and thus parents would buy it. It was before the internet was more prominent.
A lot of it was in, you know, the packaging for their VHS releases. They were very similar to the Disney ones. So you had those parents who really didn't know one from the other for some reason, buying those instead for their children.
And don't even get me started on the times when they put more effort into the art of the cover of the movie to make it look more like the actual thing it was ripping off of.
Also, since, Disney has always been pretty prominent, it was easy to get wind of what they were working on. So they'd even, because these were direct to like VHS releases, they would make as much effort as they could to their versions before the Disney ones, so people would think again that those were the originals.
Actually, I think it was more like after the theatrical release. They would probably release them.
No, I can't remember
There are
which
actually a lot of
movies they were, but
cases
there
where they had it before.
occasions where they actually did try to release them way
Alright.
before.
I guess.
Remember,
Alright.
it's quite easy to get wind of what a company like Disney is working on, even back
Alright.
then.
Sure.
Yeah, good times. I'm feeling as sad as Jose Mourinho.
Buzzing. Anything else,
I'd give context to that statement, but we're running out of time. So, yeah, this sucks.
All right.
See you for the next
Yeah.
days for
Happy holidays and a happy new year.
for more pleasant films.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. The next film's better, even if it's a bit of a downgrade from its predecessor. Join us next time for Die Hard 2.
Yay.
All right.
See ya.
See ya.